Bonjour, aujourd'hui nous allons parler des verbes pronominaux or reflexive verbs in English. Be ready to take some notes and to ask questions at the end. Okay, let's go. The first thing I want you to do is to just listen to my reading and observe in the text at the same time. Normalement, je me lève vers 5h30 et puis avec mes copains, on se retrouve à la gare pour prendre le train ensemble. On se parle et on s'amuse, donc on s'entend généralement très bien. Quand on était plus petit, on se disputait assez souvent, mais on ne se faisait jamais la tête très longtemps. La dernière fois que nous nous sommes fâchés, c'est quand Patricia s'est moquée de moi. Parfois, elle est vache. Okay, so this little text shows you a sample of the reflexive verbs that you have been using over the past few years, and showing that some of them are things that I do to myself, je me lève, and others are things that we do reciprocally, so to each other, like on s'amuse, on se parle. This is what we're going to look at today. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est qu'un reflexive verb? There are verbs which use reflexive pronouns like me, te, se, nous, vous, ce. They never change, okay? Except me, te, se, of course, which turn into M apostrophe, T apostrophe, and S apostrophe in front of vowels. And they change depending on the person who's talking or the person we are talking about. So we can differentiate between two main categories. There are the basic reflexive verbs, which often describe a routine, okay, and an action that is done to oneself. So, se lever, se coiffer, okay. They are often translated with up verbs, as I call them, to get up, to wake up, okay. And they are actions that we do to ourselves. I get myself up, I do my own hair, I brush my own teeth, etc. The second category are reflexive verbs with a reciprocal meaning. That means that they are described actions we do to one another, and they can be translated by to each other or together in English. Examples are se parler, to talk to each other, s'entendre, to get along with each other. But sometimes, of course, in English, we do not say them out loud, and they are eluded. So please be careful. Now, you have to be very careful because some verbs exist in both the reflexive and the non-reflexive forms. And of course, that means that they do change meaning. So just as an example, se lancer is to embark. Like for instance, je me lance dans l'aventure, I'm embarking on an adventure. Whereas lancer is to throw, like je lance un javelot, I'm throwing the javelin. D'accord? So completely different meaning. So how are they formed in the present tense? Just like normally we are using personal pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, ils, elles, and we associate to them a reflexive pronoun. So that works in all tenses, okay? As you can see, me becomes M apostrophe in front of vowel. Same with te, T, and se, S apostrophe in front of vowels. The rest are the same. And then we just add the verb at the end in the present tense. As you can see, the verb endings do not change. They are the same. Okay. Now, there are too many reflexive verbs for me to give you a list of. So I've decided to make a Quizlet. So I will pass on the details of that Quizlet so that you can maybe start learning some of them. All right. So in the perfect tense, au passé composé, the reflexive verbs always form the perfect tense with être. So that's really good news. We don't have to choose between avoir and être. It's always être. Therefore, you need to know the verb to be in the present tense in French. Je suis, tu es, il est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont. Okay, so that's something you really need to review. So same rule apply in the present in the perfect tense with a reflexive verb. The past participle agrees with the subject. Okay, so let's have a look at an example. Elle s'est levée très tôt. Elle is the subject of my sentence, and it's conjugated with être in the perfect tense, and therefore I'm going to add an extra E at the end to reflect that it's a girl who's got up very early. Ils se sont disputés violemment. Ils is our subject. It's mainly boys probably in the plural. Conjugated with être, se sont, and therefore I'm going to add an S at the end. Okay, so you have to be really vigilant here. Now, the next bit, I really want to stress that this is an extension. It's not for everybody. Do not worry if you do not digest it today. Even French students struggle with that, okay? So don't worry too much about it. I just need to mention it so that you are aware of it. There is no agreement if the verb is followed by a direct object pronoun. I have made a video on direct object pronoun if you want to revise that. So, example, elle s'est lavé les cheveux. She washed what? Her hair. Les cheveux is a direct object pronoun. It's placed after the verb. Therefore, there is no double E at the end of s'est lavé, okay? If it's a reciprocal verb such as se téléphoner, that means that to each other, there is no agreement either. Again, do not worry if you do not get that right now. It's not the end of the world. Okay, reflexive verbs in the negative form. In the present, it's ne, reflexive pronoun, and then verb, and then the second half of the negative form. So let's have a look at an example. As you can see, je ne me brosse jamais les dents. Okay, so ne and jamais, which are the negative forms, take me brosse, which is the verb with its reflexive pronoun, in sandwich. D'accord? Okay, so far so good. In the perfect tense, of course, it's a little bit more complicated. So you got ne, reflexive pronoun, the verb être in the present tense, the second half of the negative form, and then the verb or the past participle. Example, je ne me suis jamais brossé les dents. So basically what we're looking at is we're putting the negative form, ne jamais, around the conjugated part of the verb, suis, associated with the reflexive pronoun, me suis. And then the verb or the past participle comes after, brosser. Okay, so this is something you need to practice. It's not easy, I understand, for French learners. So please practice in your writing and show what you can do. So here is a little practice. Please pause now. Do this exercise in your book and the correction comes in about a minute. So just pause now. Okay, so if we want to mark this exercise, nous nous levons à 6 heures tous les matins, easy peasy. Hier, ils se sont retrouvés près de la gare. Now, ils se sont retrouvés, perfect tense, and then I'm putting the S at the end of retrouver because it's ils. Les enfants se disputent tout le temps. Parfois, mes parents se fâchent et me grondent. I just would like to attract your attention to that me gronde here. This is not a reflexive verb, okay? It's a normal verb used with a direct object pronoun placed at the front, okay? So if you have a little bit of a blank about direct object pronoun, I strongly advise you to review the video. Mes grands-parents se sont rencontrés. Again, it's my grandparents, so I'm going to put an S at the end. Ma sœur et moi nous entendons très bien. Ma sœur et moi is a group of people. I am part of that group, therefore it's us, we. Si je lui dis ce que je pense, if I tell her what I think, elle se met à pleurer, she starts crying. Il ne se confie pas facilement à ses parents, one of our negative forms in the present tense, ne pas is around the verb se confie. And number 9 is the tricky one with mes parents ne se sont jamais intéressés à mes parents. My parents never took an interest in my pastimes. As you can see, se sont is taken in a sandwich around ne and jamais, and the verb or the past participle comes after. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. Please don't hesitate to ask your teacher any question. Merci, au revoir.